Right, here we are back with Rob Peach's JJ Dual Custom Works guitar. Now, as you can see, we've got it all jigged up. Got it on a jig there, ready for doing the fret level. Now, like I always say, I've said in many videos, the most important part of a guitar, most important piece of a guitar, even before the frets, is the neck. Because if the neck's right, the guitar, anything else can be sorted. But if the neck's not right, there's no point doing anything else. So we must always ascertain that the neck is straight or can be straightened. In this case, absolutely, it can be straightened, and it is now absolutely straight. And if I zoom in a little, you'll see on the dials here, we've got the dials zeroed out. 25-inch scale on these, which I didn't know about, but I've just checked it is. And what we do is, we get the neck absolutely straight, which we have done. And then, once it's on the jig, we'll get it all supported on these steel rods here. I'm going to add more steel rods to this later, but this will do for now. Spider on there, you're not paid to go, mate. So steel rods, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it straight, got the 0 dials on there, it's going to stay straight. So once we've done that, I'll go across with the fret rocker, which I have done in this case, and I'll check frets for rock, see if there's any particularly high ones. In this case again, there were 3 up here, quite high. Some of us a little bit high, but these were quite high. I've had to work a lot on this one, which will be the, where are we? 21st fret. It's had a lot of work, you need quite a lot of material. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go across the top of all of the frets with a marker pen, because now I've got them all, they're not all exactly level, but they're level-ish. Where we can show that is, if I zoom in again, just to show the neck, that's as far as I need to go. We can use the notched straight edge also as a level checker we'll get it where it needs to be, and then what we do is where this fret is here, we lift it on the top, and when we lift it on the top, see there, look, all the notched bits now are now moved across the frets, and now the whole beam is on top of all the frets, and it's checking them for level. Now they are more or less level. There are a couple here and there are a little high. Now I said to Rob, that probably doesn't need a complete, I don't really need a complete fret level. He says, yeah, but I want you to do it. I want you to do the whole lot, and I want you to recrown it, and I want you to replace a nut and put a new nut on. So this is going to have, more than anything else, it's going to have a complete recrown on everything. So what we're going to do is, I've got the, I've just taped up my beam here. Here's my sanding beam. I've got 240 grit on this side, got 400 grit on this side. And all I'm going to do, I've just knocked this off. I'm not going to even use the 240. What I'm going to do is, that's a 240 side course, this is a 400, fine. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the top of all these with some marker pen, and I'm going to go across with a 400 grit, and I'm just going to lightly go across until I remove all the pen in a stroke each way. And once we've done that, we know all the frets are level, when I can get on, and basically it's going to be a recrown and polish on this job. So that's where I am with this right now. I'm going to get, because I know the neck's now level, I'm going to get it all taped up, and I'm going to marker the top of the frets, then I'm going to come back and we're going to get my level done, and that's it, we're going to crack on from there. So back, no faffing about, like I said, I'll get it all taped up. I did get it all taped up. I've done the levelling using the off camera, taped all the, got all the sandpaper on the levelling beam, milled perfectly flat this beam. It cost me 20 something quid to get milled flat, blah 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 blah. 240 grit that side for taking main material off, 400 grit this side for just taking a little bit of material off. Didn't even use this side, didn't need to. I was straight across a few strokes, a dozen or so, probably a few more strokes, just to get all the frets absolutely level, absolutely flat. Now all the frets this way will have scratches in them that way, but they are level. I've been across with a fret rocker, blah blah blah, and what remains to be done now is, I'm going to move my tools out of the way, I'm going to put the crown back in the frets, because now where we've levelled them, put a bit of flatness in them, we're just going to put a crown back, and I've got the various tools for doing that. I've got the crowning file, the Crimson Guitars one, I've got the other crowning file, my Stumac version, with a different head on there. I might even go with a medium sized head on that, I've got a smaller head, probably work better with these frets, just to put a bit of crown back. Once that's all done, we're going to go, finally going to go across, we'll go across with the diamond file, which is in its protective bag. Now this is basically another grooved file. You've seen it all, but you've all seen it before. It's a groove file, but this has got diamond on this edge there. It's a crowning file. It crowns that way as you go like that. The diamond file is in there. I think it's about 300 grit. Absolutely brilliant. Or it almost brings them back to a polish. Love this tool. And so I'm going to do that. And once that's done, I'm going to use varying grits of sandpaper, wet and dry sandpaper. I'll probably go from 1000 grit, 1200 grit, 1500 grit, 2000 grit. We'll get a high polish on there, and we'll finish off with wire wool. So you've all seen me do that work before, so I'm not going to show it now on camera. It's just about getting these guitars on. I'm keep the videos pretty short, but just to show that I'm going to zoom in. Even though we've now done the levelling, the dials are still on 0. The guitar's not moved. The tape's not so brilliant. Guitar's not moved. Or I could do the crowning on the other bench over there if I wanted to. On my new bench, but because it's already on here, I'm going to get the crowning done. I'm going to move the table out so I can get this side and the far side, get both sides, and I can do it from both sides. I'll start at the difficult end here where the body is, because that's going to be the hardest work there. Oddly and coincidentally, these are the ones where the critical ones are, the ones that have been flattened the most are up this end. So I'm going to spend my time, take my time up here. I've already shown all the process before. The body's all taped off, we're not going to have any accidents there. And I'm going to crack on, we've got a couple of hours on there, and once it's done I'll come back with an update. I can't finish the guitar today because a new nut has not arrived. Saying that, I could use the old nut because we've gone a bit lower. I could use a whole nut, but I'm not going to do it. I've ordered a new Graphtec Tusk nut, the black one, slightly higher than the old one so I can carve it to shape. Anyway, that's it, we're going to crack on. Like I say, I'll come back sometime later with an update, so I'll catch you later. Right, good afternoon. We're back with Rob Peach's JJ Custom Workshop dual guitar. The fret leveling was done on the other bench. It was on this bench. How great is this idea, by the way? The new vise all padded up so I can just polish the frets and I can move the guitar where I want it to. Everything's padded up, I'm not going to mark anything, everything's taped up. But anyway, I've done all the fret polishing. I've gone across with 4 grits of sandpaper, 1000 grit, 1200 grit, 1500 grit, 2000 grit. We've gone that way, then that way on all 4 grits. And we've done the final polishing with steel wool, wire wool. They look absolutely brilliant. I'm going to see if I can zoom in and just show you show you how highly polished these are. How's that looking? That any good to you? So yeah, just to hopefully this will work. It normally does work on camera. So we're all highly polished. All the residue, I'll put a tea towel down on the base because I don't want to be getting filings and dust everywhere. Put a tea towel down to catch all the bits of filings we got off here. They're all nicely highly polished. I've gone across with 4 grits of sandpaper, like I say, all there. Finish off with wire wool. I'm just showing it on this bench. What a great bench this is. It really helped my work a lot because now I can just work like so. We're not going to mark the guitar. What remains for me to do now is to remove all the tape from the guitar, go and get this onto the other bench because I'm going to be fitting a brand new nut. Also, while I'm doing the levelling and polishing, well not the levelling, the polishing, I'm always going over with a fret rocker to make sure everywhere's level. And I've been across the whole guitar neck with this fret rocker and everything is level. So I'm going to remove a little bit of the tape now just to show how good these frets are going to look. In fact, I can do that. In fact, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to peel all this tape off camera and I'm going to come back. I'm going to get it onto the other bench because we need to put a new nut on it. Now I've got a new nut and I've already filed the nut and shaped it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come back, I'll get this back on the other bench and I'll show you how we'll go about fitting the new nut and getting everything set up. Because all this needs now is a new nut fitting and setting up and it's done, and we're going to move on to the next one, the Peavey one, which is already on the other bench, already set up over there. So I'm going to crack on and I'll be back shortly again with another update. Right, so I'm back with Peach's JJ guitar. I mean, what a lovely guitar, look at this. I went looking for a picture of this on the internet the other day and I actually did find one. I went for an orange JJ dual with P90 and I come up with a picture, a load of them, all guitars in a rack, and I put it on my Facebook page with an update of this guitar. I said to Peach, I found a picture of a guitar like yours. He says, it's not like mine, it is mine. There's only one of these made. £2,200 this guitar anyway, back to the case in point and back to what we're talking about. I've just moved this off the other bench. It's now on bench 3, the setup bench, and I'm just going to bring in, and there's the frets done, levelled, recrowned, polished. I've just put a little bit, sprayed a little bit of mineral oil on the neck there, on the wood, on the fretboard, just to nourish it a little, clean it up. Take my word for it, these frets are highly polished, they're absolutely level, they're really not going to feel nice. I've even dressed the edges where the bevel is, because they weren't dressed that brilliant, to be honest. They're a little bit sharp in places, so I've done that. All that remains to be done now on this guitar is to put on a new nut. Now Peachy seemed to think he wanted a bone nut. I said, I'm not touching bone, I'm a vegan. No, that's not, well, that's true, that's half true. I would use a bone nut if need be, even though I am a vegan, but it did have a nut on it. The nut on it was this one, and this will be a new bone or a Tusk TUSQ made by Graftech. And I went and bought one of these. He says he wanted it a little bit higher, his action, so I went and got one a little bit higher, and it was high, and it's a hair higher. Look how much of a difference, right? There's hardly any difference in there. What can you see that? There's a little bit of difference. I've gone with slightly higher nut. I've had to cut it and shape it. It was higher one side than the other, so you see where I filed it down, I've had to file one edge off, the lower edge. And it's a tiny, it's a hair narrower than the old one. The old one's at the bottom, the new one's at the top. But that's going to fit perfect. I've already shaped it. I'm going to get it in on the guitar like so. And then all I need to do is carve the slots properly. I'm going to get it shaped both sides. It's a little bit looser than that one, but because he wants the nut a little bit higher, it's all I could get at the time. I'm not going to shim anything, I'm not going to wedge anything in the side, just to hold and push it forward a bit more. I'm just going to use this nut, and I'm just going to cut the radius on the slots there. And that's all that remains to be done on this guitar. I need to do that, I need to get it strung up, get the action set, then put, if I need a bit of relief, I'll put a little bit of relief in the neck there. Now I'm looking at this high end of this guitar. There's a couple of scratches near on the fretboard. I'm wondering if this has ever had fretwork before. It looks like it might have done. But anyway, that said, I'm really pleased with how the frets have come out. But then again, there's no reason why I shouldn't be. It's what I do. It's what we do here at Fret Friend and Christian Dash Guitars. So yeah, nice one there. Really pleased with that. So like I say, all I've got to do with this now, get the new nut in there. I'm going to get it glued in a minute. I'm going to get some strings on it and get the setup done. Probably I need a little bit of radius work on that nut, I can tell from here. I might not glue it in, I might just place it in and let the string tension hold it down. I can see where I need to go from here then. I myself would not replace the nut. Now Peachy, Rob says, he says they wear down a bit in the blah 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 blah. I don't think they do wear down. These have got a special, made of a special resin. And they've got it's like micro ball bearings inside. They're self-lubricating, these nuts. That's why I like using them. Graftech New Bone or Graftech Tusk TUSQ. Anyway, that one imported from Portugal. I'm going to put it on because he says he wants it putting on. And he wants that action a little bit higher. So I'll determine how high that action needs to be on that nut when I get the strings on. Because I know Rob doesn't like to play with a lot of relief in the neck. So I'm only going to put a little relief in the neck. I'm going to get the action not mega low, but low-ish. You know, we're going to get it slightly. We're going to get it at least to the recommended, probably a bit less than recommended. I'm going to keep the neck as straight as possible because he wants the bridge lifting up a bit because it was screwed right down into the body. We'd like to come a little bit higher with that. But end of the day, the neck determines what we can do with the bridge. So if the neck angle's as it is and we have to take the bridge right in, it's what we've got to do. So anyway, like I say, I'm going to blob on with it. I've got the Peavey on. The Peavey's now got on for a fret level over there. That's going to be the next one on. I've really took my time with these because I should have had them done by last week, but I had a really busy weekend. I've not really done a lot since Friday. It's now Monday, so I'm going to crack on, get this one done. I'm going to get the Peavey, start on the Peavey in a bit. I'm going to get it at least level tonight, get it crowned and polished tomorrow. That gives me from Wednesday onwards I can crack on with the Axis. I've got to crack on because I've got 2 more refrets just come in, one for Thursday, one for Friday. So I'm now working to a schedule which is I like to be kept on my toes. So that's it. So I'm going to, like I said, got to crack on with this now, and I'll come back with another update. Talk soon.